Well, a fine good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Welcome to the Mahoning County Board of Elections. Today is Tuesday, April 6th. It's about 12 minutes past 8 a.m. This meeting is called to order. The director, please call the roll.
Mr. Monroe.
Here.
Ms. Barger. Here. Mr. Wasco.
Here.
Mr. Beatrice.
Here.
If you'll just join me in a moment of silence, a moment of reflection for our blessings of liberty. And if you would stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. First item is to consider the meeting minutes from March 12th. Is there a motion to suspend the rules and accept the meeting minutes as presented?
So moved.
So moved.
There's a motion, there's a second, any discussion? Director, call the roll?
Mr. Monroe.
Yes.
Ms. Barger. Yes. Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
Under Chairman's report, I note that we have an election coming.
Yes, we do.
And I think I'll defer to the director to get an update on. Now, Joyce, how does this election compare to last year's?
He said.
All right, but really, how are we doing?
We're doing well. We have about 700 absentees that are going to go out today. As you know, early voting started. I don't expect a large turnout for either the early voting or the absentees, or maybe in-person polls either. I think it's going to be about 17%.
Wow.
It's very low-key election. It hasn't
Yes, it
ramped
is.
up yet. So it may ramp up in Struthers. I don't know, but
What's going on in Struthers?
they have a contested race for council at large. So they have 3 to elect, 4 are running. So it's just very, very low key. I don't expect it to turn out. We're going to run the election like we run every election. We're, we have 67 precincts that are going to be open or that are available to vote. But we're doing everything we always do with security and everything else. And early voting is going to be handled the same way. Curbside will be handled the same way. So as far as we're concerned, it's a regular election.
Sure. Has training started?
Training starts, I gave you last time, I
Yes,
gave
you
you the
did.
schedule. I'll have to give you the schedule, so you should probably attend a class. A couple classes just to, get your feet wet. So, it starts in 2 weeks, actually, because it's so little training. We have so few precincts to
Right.
train. And we're training specifically, again, people who work the ballot tables will be trained, people who work the DS200s will be trained separately, people who work the poll books will be trained separately, and then, of course, the BLMs, the voting location managers.
Well, after last year, you might appreciate a more relaxed election season this year.
I don't know, every day seems to be a new crisis, huh, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the director's report.
Well, we have several moral obligations to pay, and Ray has it for you to sign, or you may have it in front of you, I don't know, Mr. Chairman.
They started, yes, ma'am.
Okay, we have to approve a moral obligation for invoice for $370 to Garland Welding for the ballot drop-off box. They did that last October, and it was not paid, so we owe them $370 for creating that little arm that went onto so that people don't have to get out of their car, they can just drop it right in the box. So we owe that a moral obligation.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Director, call the roll?
Mr. Monroe.
Yes.
Ms. Barger.
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
We have to approve a moral and legal obligation to pay him a loan for $5,000 for the training videos for the poll workers. We did not train on the ballot table last time, and we also did not train on the curbside training. Well, that gave us a few little pauses last year, so we created a video this time for those two. We already had a contract with her. She upgraded one of our provisionals where instead of using the piece of paper to do the thing, we actually put it on the back of the envelope where they list what reason they're giving for voting provisional. So it's now on the back of the envelope. It's self-contained instead of having another piece of paper to deal with. So she also, did that, updated that. So that is what that moral obligation is for.
And they did a nice job. I was,
Yeah, all the videos are nice,
Yeah.
they're online,
Yeah.
but I actually make the poll workers review them before election day.
the video production is something that's near and dear to my heart. So
Yes, it is.
I was pleased by what I saw. Is there a motion to approve item B?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Director call the roll?
Mr. Monroe,
Yes.
Ms. Barber,
Yes.
Mr. Wasco,
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
We have to approve a moral and legal obligation for American Business for copier service and ink that they did for us during the election. This is for $217.52.
Make a motion, Taylor.
And I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second to approve item C as presented. Any discussion?
Yes,
Mr. Wasco.
I've sat on the board for a long time. Why do we have all of these moral obligations? Why isn't this through our normal system?
Because these bills were not paid in a timely fashion, and we cannot go back and order POs for them. They were not paid when the bills came in, and that's an issue.
Okay,
But we've
Yeah,
never.
I understand, I understand.
Yeah.
So that.
Yeah, we know that there have been some issues with John Blue, who has been ill. I think he came in with a doctor. We're gonna meet with him after the meeting to get an update on his situation. But, Bob, you're right, this is out of the ordinary. There was a motion to approve item D, was there a
Yep,
motion?
yep, and a second.
Director call the roll?
Mr. Monroe,
Yes.
Ms. Barber,
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
Yes. Number E is to pay Ken Seeds. Every year we get the people uniforms. They update the uniforms, or some of them, like mine is getting a little worn. So we always contact Ken Seeds, who does our custom logo, and that was not paid in a timely fashion. So we need to approve that for $838.
Make the motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that item D be paid as presented. Discussion? Director call the roll?
Mr. Monroe,
Yes.
Ms. Barber,
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
Number E is a moral obligation to LexisNexis. That is for an invoice, I think in December, that was not paid. They are threatening to sue. It's a moral obligation for $1,676.07. That's for our update on our books, our books for the law, Ohio Revised Code, 3500. So we need to pay that moral obligation.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? There's a motion and a second that we approve and pay item E as presented. Director call the roll?
Mr. Monroe,
Yes.
Ms. Barber,
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
The next one is a moral obligation to Lake Business. We have not paid Lake Business since September, and they are our copier machines. We need to pay this. They actually did come out. I had to call them because they would not come out and service our machines. They actually did come out with the understanding that this would be paid. So this is a moral obligation for $1,979.27.
Make the motion.
I second.
Any discussion? There's a motion and a second that item F be paid as presented. Director call the roll?
Mr. Monroe,
Yes.
Ms. Barber,
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
I have one more that's not on your list. It's for CWG. It's vendor renewal for $26,045 to SOS Juniper Products through our data processing board for cybersecurity, which is a renewal of our cyber. This also was in November, which was not renewed. This is something we must pay. I just learned about this one last night.
Can we put a PO in for that, or is it?
No, it's too late because it happened in November. We should have renewed it in November. It's through the Secretary of State. It's one of their cybersecurities that they added on, gave us last year. But it's something that we have to keep updated now
No,
to Juniper. And that is for.
I still move.
I'll second.
And this is from
This is from November of last year.
CDWG.
G, it's a Juniper SOS Juniper product that they carry We actually got it from CWG, but they carry the service agreement on it.
Okay. There's a motion, there is a second. Any discussion? That the invoice for $26,045 be paid. Director call the roll?
Mr. Monroe?
Yes.
Ms. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Wasco?
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice?
Yes. Make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Well, you need to state the purpose.
An issue that was brought up in our last executive session about employee compensation.
Okay, so the motion would be that we go into executive session for the purpose of discussing the compensation or hiring or discipline of a public employee.
That's correct.
Is there a second?
Second.
Director call the roll?
Mr. Monroe?
Yes.
Ms. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Wasco?
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice?
Yes.
Eighth and ninth?
Right. I'm going down the 7th because I think we have meetings in the morning. Because I'm secretary of the association, I have to be there.
And this is at the Hyatt?
Yes, this is at the Hyatt this time.
So make reservations at the Hyatt?
Yes.
Under the conference?
Yes.
And then you'll
Are you sure
register
it's
us?
not the, it's not
I
the
thought
Hilton?
this was the
The Hilton.
Hilton, because there was
Yeah,
an
we
issue
had
with
our
Hyatt
last, we had
time.
the trustees conference at the Hyatt, but this is at the Hilton.
Because I thought the email said Hyatt, that's
I'll
what.
double
That's,
check
that's, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You made hotel reservations, right?
No, I did not because last time I got stuck with all your bills and they have not reimbursed me yet.
Okay.
And even though you paid for them yourselves. So they did not take it off of my, I'm still fighting with them.
No.
I paid for those myself.
Yes, you did, yes, you did. I reserved them on my card, but then
We don't
no, they do. They take it out the first day out.
I'm gonna give you my card and make my reservation.
I don't know. You have secretaries.
All right, Gigi, now listen.
Hilton
You
or
can-
Hyatt?
It's at the Hyatt.
I'm looking it up right now. Is
What's
it
at
at the
the
Hyatt?
It's at the Hyatt.
I'm
Is it
gonna
the
stay
Hyatt?
I
It's at
think
the-
it is. My connection's
I'm
going
gonna
slow.
stay.
It's
Oh,
at the-
yes, because you know what?
It's at the
the
Hyatt.
state, not the association. So it is at the Hyatt.
Because I
is
think
at
it was
the-
last year there were
it
issues.
is at the Hyatt.
Yes.
Oh,
June 8th and 9th, you said?
Yes.
Okay, any other unfinished business to consider? Any new business to consider? Any board communications to report?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Anything for the good of the order, any public comment this morning? Our next meeting will be an adjourned regular meeting. It'll be set for Monday evening, May 3rd at 6 p.m. When we will meet, open the polls, the board will go into session. And we'll be in session for until we release the unofficial results on election day. Is there a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
I'll second.
Director call the roll?
Mr. Monroe?
Yes.
Ms. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Wasco?
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice?
Yes.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
I don't know why.